Yeah. So others are there. Ritesh, are you there? Abdul? Okay. Anyway, I mean, you are going to make a presentation. So you can do it. Yeah. Sure. Performance analysis of debt mutual fund. Is that? Okay. Just hold on for a second. Just hold on for a second. I'm just going to start my AC. इसको हाइड कर दो, इसको यू कैन जस्ट हाइड इट, there's a button there, hide button, हाँ, yeah. Okay, Akriti, just to intervene, up till now, the presentation is the best one. Okay, you've done a very good study and deep study and made a good presentation so far. ये बताओ आकृति, अभी तक तो आपको ड्यूरेशन ये सब चीज तो नहीं पता थी कुछ दिन पहले ही? ये जो मकाले's ड्यूरेशन एंड ऑल, यू आर नॉट नोइंग दैट ना, नाउ यू आर जस्ट स्पीकिंग एज इफ यू नो ईच एंड एवरीथिंग, very well. I mean, almost like you have a good experience in handling with these, funds. अरे वो तो ठीक है, but I think you have understood and put it in a very good manner. Talking about how interest rate sensitivity, all those things which you are speaking, which is like a find. It's a wonderful, what your job, what you have done. Basically understood the concept and then putting it in your presentation. So it's a great job. Good, very good. See, when I'm teaching always about the debt mutual funds, so I always find the students, because of course, it's easy concept, but still it requires a little bit of knowledge and understanding of the concept and understanding about the duration. So then only a person can understand, clearly. So, so you have well understood the whole concept, it seems. Okay, fine. Which one? Dynamic bond funds you're talking about? So they have higher yield to maturity, you're saying, isn't it? Okay, okay. I see, I see. 7.64 you said, is it? So when you are investing, in dynamic mutual funds or bond funds or whatever, now you have two things to look at. One is the YTM, and other are basically, the interest rate scenario prevailing in the economy. Okay. So if the interest rates scenario is telling you that interest rates are going to drop, so you always try to put your money for that period into those bond funds, and you get a high good capital appreciation, isn't it? Now, this is only, you have to capture, the interest rate fall basically, for which can be, lasting for a year or 6 months or 2 years at the maximum. Okay. And then, of course, we have the interest rate cycle keep, going up and down. So you get a small window about 1 or 2 years where you can park your money in mutual funds and you get a capital appreciation. So then what is the significance of YTM in that scenario? I mean, how do you look at the YTM, basically, in this light? What does the YTM tells you about it? Yeah. So again, to put it, what you have said, put it in a right manner, and what you have said, but I'll just to put it on my words, like suppose you think that the bond, I mean, interest rates are going to fall and you're going to capture the capital appreciation. But beyond that, the YTM tells you that if you hold the bond, you're not an investor who want to take a capital appreciation or, I mean, a downside on the, the bond funds, but you want to hold the bond till the end. This is the money which you're going to get, isn't it? Suppose if you have missed out an opportunity and you hold the bond till, I mean, the bond duration, you will get YTM. That is a return which you are, ultimately going to get. Okay. This is a guaranteed kind of a return which you are going to get if you hold the bond till its duration, basically, isn't it? Yeah. So that's the thing. Okay. Okay. So now you have well understood the difference between the modified duration and the Macaulay's duration, isn't it? Okay. Very good. Okay, just to hold on, when I was just discussing one of my portfolio with my relationship manager long back, with a Citibank guy, so I asked him what is the Macaulay this modified duration stands for. So he told me, and he aptly told me it's like a beta of stocks because the beta measures the risk. Modified all duration also measures the risk of the bond with respect to the interest rate changes which are happening. Okay, so it's like a the risk, how much risky it is. Whether it is the risk means whether it's a favorable risk, a downside risk, or an upward side risk, basically. It tells you, if the stock is going to do well, it's a high beta, then it is going to outperform all other stocks. Similarly, if you're holding a bond and if there is an interest rate scenario which is falling, you will get the maximum return depending upon how you have chosen your modified duration of a bond, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Much of this thing, yeah. So they are less risky. The banking and PC, yeah. Ah. Absolutely, your this thing is right that gilt funds are the most riskiest because all their modification are, I mean, almost touching 10, whereas banking and PSU you are shown is between the range of 3 to 4 maximum, not even 4, between 2 to 3.5. Okay, and dynamic bonds will be somewhere middle, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, of course, it will depend upon the fund manager. Suppose he has, chosen the fund which is, more high on bond duration, so he'll get a higher, modified duration. Like you have 10.99 also for DSP strategic, but the fund which is more conservative, like ICICI, they have chosen a bond duration of 4.96. Okay, So within bond, I mean dynamic bond, this thing. So there is a lot of conservatism and aggressive manner in which the mutual fund guy feels. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So good. It's a good learning. For me also when I'm seeing your slide, I'm getting a lot of insights here. So yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Okay, okay, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Whenever you are analyzing a fund, you must look at, the track record of these guys, that makes a bit difference. Okay. Okay, great, great. So you are moving absolutely in the right direction, Akriti. I would say definitely. Mhm. Okay, okay. So this subject has been a good, learning for all of you, isn't it? Great. Yeah. Then it all depends upon your own hard work. How much you. I mean, of course, I can just guide you, give you a little bit about it, and then rest depends on. I mean, how much you go deeper. Like it seems that you have gone very deep into the whole thing in the last couple of days or 5, 6 days to understand. It's not very easy to explain the debt funds particularly. I'll see other presentations also, but it's not so easy. Equity mutual funds anybody can present and talk about, but it's not so easy for debt mutual funds. So, okay, good job. Carry on. Okay, okay. अभी तो आपने derivatives नहीं करा ना अभी derivatives we have not studied I mean properly I mean isn't it stock derivatives and of course time was limited I would have taken you but anyway chalo okay 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 So these returns are for how many years you have taken? 5 years. Okay. Now, again, the 5 year return completes the whole cycle of the interest moving, going up and down, basically. Okay. So it is basically, if you have chosen, say, 1 year or 2 year, you would have got some elevated returns on your, this thing charts. But the five, you have chosen the 5 years because, to reflect your point, particularly, when these funds start giving very good returns. So you have to choose a period which is, which coincides with the falling interest rate. So you can see elevated returns in that particular era. Okay. So 5 और 10 साल के अंदर the whole interest cycle is played out. So you get high, low both, and then it gives you almost a return which is equal to YTM basically. So whatever returns you are showing, they are close to YTM returns out here. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Okay. अभी आपका कितना बाकी स्लाइड्स है? Okay. Okay. So if you look at, the gilt funds, you will find their returns are, much lower and muted compared to the other funds because, they are the most riskiest one, and it covers a 5 year period where, I mean, barring the last year or 6 months, I mean, if you go back, the interest rates started going down only. Otherwise, there's a lull in the interest rate. The RBI was not cutting the interest rates at all from the last couple of years. Okay. So these funds were not doing so well, particularly the gilt funds, which have a high duration. Okay. So they were giving a return which was equivalent to almost like, the repo rate, sorry, the coupon rate, which is nothing but the yield to maturity. Okay. 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 That's good. But only thing is that, just come back to the last slide. Your portfolio allocation seems to be perfectly balanced, but the gilt funds 30% is justified because of the present interest rate scenario, okay, where we are foreseeing some kind of more, rate cuts may be announced, okay, in the coming months. So, which may give you a little bit a better return in these funds. But I was just reading, that these funds, they have already performed so well. So going forward, there will not much left in these funds. But again, because the interest rate scenario seems to be that we may have seen some more cuts. Okay, so we may find these banking and PSU funds and gilt funds, sorry, the gilt funds particularly, who have a larger duration, so they are going to give you a much higher returns. But normally, you should not be putting more money in the gilt funds if we have, a scenario where the interest rates are going to go up. Okay. Uh, so RBI also changed their stance, in the last meeting where they are taken a more accommodative stance, and they have announced that they're going to coming with more rate cuts. So they have their stances basically, which has led to these funds doing well, because in the future they expect the interest rates to soften a bit. Okay, तो ठीक है, good, very good, wonderful. तो ठीक है, अब अभी हमारे पास हैं, who is going to present next? हाँ, Mayor, you are going to present. Okay, just give me 5 minutes, okay, and then you can be ready with your presentation. Just after 5 we may start.